Hey everybody. Hi. Hi Marco. Hi everybody. Welcome again. Welcome again. Uh, Welcome everybody. We are live. We are live and we will start very soon. We will start very soon. We are live and we will start very soon. Uh-huh. Welcome everybody. Welcome, Joss, big man, fantastic. Bantu Africa, it's good to have you. Yeah, so let's share the live. Let's make sure everybody has the information that we are live. Yeah, so let's share. Let's make sure we share. If you want to also post the live link on your status, please do that. Our goal is to have everybody on board. That way we can have a vibrant community. We can have a good time together where we discuss and learn everything we can about Laravel. Yeah, so specifically in today's session, we will actually review what we did. We will review what we did the other day, yesterday. Yesterday we did something on authentication. So today we will be building on top of authentication, and we will actually be working with Eloquent Relationships. Yeah, so that's what we are going to work with. So as soon as it reaches 19:10, 10 minutes past 7, we will actually start. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Okay, so time is up. We are starting now. Time is up. We are starting now. Okay, so what have we been doing? So we have been learning about Laravel. I hope I am audible enough. Let me see. Yeah, I think I'm audible. Yeah, so we have been learning about Laravel. Our goal is to understand what the heck is Laravel, right? What is Laravel? And our main goal is to be able to know the code itself in such a way that we can actually communicate even with the current technologies like AIs and stuff. We want to be able to communicate what we want, yeah? To an AI in a manner that the AI can understand what we want, but also in a manner that if the AI, for example, maybe cloud code or Cursor or whatever, once that AI writes the code, we need to be able to read and understand the code. That is the only way we can extend the code and correct it when the AI is confusing stuff, because it does a lot of confusing, right? Yeah, so if you have been using AI to vibe code your way out, you have seen this trend, where it starts very good, but as the project becomes bigger and bigger, it becomes very difficult for it to work with the project. Sometimes it works well, but sometimes you need to at least help it a little bit, right? So you can't help AI if you can't read the code AI has written, right? Yeah. So and sometimes you want to define the terms, because if you don't know how to code and you can't read code, you won't be able to define the terms, right? There are, for example, there are many design patterns, right? Now, AI will pick whatever design pattern it think is the best. But if you know how to code and you know design patterns, you can instruct AI to pick a specific design pattern. For example, you have been writing code for some time and you have your own style of coding. You can instruct AI to follow that style in a manner that the code that AI writes is exactly what you would write if you were to write. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so that's exactly what we are going to be doing today. We are going to be, we will build on top of what we did yesterday. And let me say this, if you did not attend the yesterday's live, the previous live, the live is recorded on YouTube, so it is there. You can just follow my YouTube account, go to the live, and you will find it right there. And then you will be able to follow up. Even this live too is streamed on YouTube and TikTok as well. So yeah, you will be able to understand exactly what we have been building here. Yeah. So what are we doing today? Let us launch our code. Let us launch our code. Here is the project. Here's the project, and Command J. If I do composer run dev, so composer run dev will actually start the project, and we will be able to actually see the project on the browser. So yeah, let's go to the browser now, and we will visit 127.0.0.1 like so. Now we have our project. Actually, if we look at the home page, this is what we have. So what we did yesterday, we actually added the login functionality, and we had this user called Lois at vastlabs.co.tz and password. So if we log in, .co.tz, like if I can type password. Okay, so if I hit login, we log in, and the user see their own products, right? They can create products, they can actually view their products, right? And they can edit products, yeah, and they can delete products. They can update them, yeah. So all of the crude, we call crude functionality, right? The crude functionalities. Create, read, update, and delete for the product resource. Yeah, so there are a few security improvements that we can do before we dive into today's session. Let me show you one thing. So for example, if you look at this product, right? This product is Xiaomi Redmi Note 9. The ID of the product is number 3. The ID is 3. You can see here. And this user is Lois, right? So keep in mind the product ID is number 3. So if I log out and I log in as William at vastlabs.co.tz, and the password is password. If I log in and I hit maybe edit for this iPhone 15, if I hit edit, notice here I'm editing iPhone 15, and the product ID is 1. So what happens if I access ID number 3? I am logged in as William, but I'm trying to access ID number 3 so that I can edit it. So if I hit enter, and remember ID number 3 is Xiaomi, and it's the owner is Lois. So if I hit enter, as you can see, I am able to edit a product which does not belong to me. So this is bad. This is very bad. We have to make sure we deal with this, right? We have to make sure we deal with this. So how are we going to deal with this? And we want to make sure that if you are editing a product, you can only do that if the product belongs to you, right? That's what we are going to do. So I'm going to visit the product controller, and specifically the edit method. You see this edit method. We accept a product here and we pass that product to the edit view, okay? So before we return this view, we need to make sure that the product belongs to the user, right? Yeah, so there is one way of doing it, and we can do it here, but there is a better way to do it, and we will actually learn it in the next live when we discuss about gates, but also when we discuss about policies. But for now, let us just use a simple if condition. So if right, if the product user ID, if the product user ID is very much equal to the authenticated user ID. If the product user ID, the ID of the user who created the product, if that ID is equal to the one who has logged in, then go ahead and return the view. Else, we can just do return, we can just do abort, right? We can abort with maybe 503. What is 503? Let's abort with 503 and we will see what is 503. So let's go back and try to reload this page, because right now we are viewing, we are editing a product which does not belong to us. So I'm going to right click and reload. Yeah, so we are getting the forbidden. 403 means forbidden. So this is forbidden. It means we are not allowed to edit a product which does not belong to us. Okay, yeah, so somehow we are protecting the what? We are protecting the route. So in this manner, the user can't edit the product which doesn't belong to them. What if they edit number 1? Because product number 1 belongs to the logged in user. Yeah, as you can see, they are able to view the product and edit it, right? So that is one way of protecting a page, right? A route from being accessed by someone who is not allowed to access that particular route. In our case, the ability to edit a user. So this is very hands-on. It is very raw if you look at it. As you can see here, we are doing a lot. There is a better way, and we will learn it in the future lives. Okay, there is a better way, and we will learn it in the future lives. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's see about the update. Destroy, show. We don't have the show. We have create, and then we have index. where we only get the product where the user ID is that. Yeah, so that's it. Let's now work on the Eloquent relationship, and then we can come to improve how we fetch data from the database, right? Using the relationships. Now, in our product here, we can define a relationship as a function. We can define a relationship as a function. So, a product belongs to a user because a user is the one who creates a product, right? So in Laravel, we can create a function for product. We can call it user. So a product user, right? So if we call the function user, it means when we are on a product instance, we can access the user who created that particular product, okay? Yeah, so if I remove the return type, I can return the relationship now, okay? I can return the relationship. What are we returning here? We are returning this, meaning the instance, the product instance. The product instance belongs, okay? Belongs to. Now, belongs to is a relationship definition. We have to specify now what is the user class. We say user model class. Okay, so this is how we define a relationship. Okay, this is how we define a relationship. Now, ladies and gentlemen, by doing this, we have simplified a lot of our code. As you can see here, we are saying product where user ID equals auth user. Let's go back here, and in the user model, let us also define the inverse relationship, okay? The inverse relationship of the relationship between product and the user. So if a product belongs to a user, what does that mean? It means a user has many products, okay, which belongs to him or her. So we can create a function called products, plural. Why plural? Because a user has many, right? Has many products. So we say products, plural. And we return this, meaning the user, the instance, the current instance of the user class. And now we say product, right? Has many, because that is the relationship. Has many what? Has many product class, okay? Now this is how we define the inverse relationship of the previous relationship we defined on the product model, okay? So in this manner, if we go back to the product controller, we can do it, we can simplify this code, and we can say, give me products which belongs to the user. So we can say authenticated user. Let's just remove this. We can say auth user, right? And we can chain products, right? Like so. Fantastic, right? It is so cool. Now we can just say the authenticated user, because the authenticated user is of type user model. And now in the user model, we have this products function. But now here, we don't access the function as like so. We don't execute the function. No, we access it as though it was a property, right? And Laravel will take care. Laravel will understand that we are actually we want to get the product that belongs to the user by accessing the relationship we have defined in the user model. Okay, yeah. So after we get that, then we display them here. Okay, so what can we do again? Here we store. It's good. We can actually modify this. So let's just see if we still have the functionality on the index page, right? Let's see if we have the functionality on the index page. If I view your products, you can see William has got 2 products, still viewing the 2 products. If I log out and log in as Lois at vastlabs.co.tz, if we go password, if I log in, right, you can see Lois is able to view only the product which belongs to her, which is just 1 product. Okay, so this works. Okay, check. Now, how do we create? When we are creating the product, we are actually associating the user manually here. Would it be better if we were to ask the user to create the product for we were to ask the user relation, actually the user object, to create a product using the relation? Okay, so we can do something like this. We can say in the request there is an authenticated user. Okay, now for this user, grab the products, right, and relation, and execute the create method, the create function, and in it we pass these guys here. I think this one should work. Okay, I think this one should work, huh? So we are accessing the user. Then we go to we get the relation by executing. As you can see here, we are executing. We are not getting the products belonging to the user. No, we are getting the relationship, and on the relationship we can execute create. Now, because we are creating using the relationship, Laravel is smart enough to put in the user ID here instead of us putting it manually. Okay, let's see if we are able to store a product. Now we have to go to the product store request. Yeah, so we are actually accepting name and description, so that should work. Okay, so let's go back, and now this is Lois. This is Lois. So let's view product, create, and let's add MacBook Pro M1, and let's say brand new Mac 2024. So let me submit and see if we are able to store a product using the relationship. Yeah, we are able to do that. And now Lois can view the MacBook Pro M1 because it has been associated. If we look at the database, ladies and gentlemen, if we look at the database, we can verify that. Although by seeing it, it actually tells us that the user ID has been set, right? Number 2 right here for brand new Mac 2024. Okay, yeah, so that's refactored. We are now using the relationship. We don't have a method for show, for edit. We already did something like this. Now in here, there is a few ways that we can do. There's a few ways that we can do. Hi Donald, hi Eddie, Shogun, hi everybody. Welcome to the live, guys. Welcome to the live. I see we have Frank Miss Smile on the YouTube live. Welcome. Yeah, so let's continue. Let's continue. So let's change this. There is a few ways that we can do this. One way which is, I think, which is more leadable, right? It is the is operator. The is operator. Let me see if I can remember that. If we say product can we chain is? Yeah, is. No, let's say product user. So the product, we grab the user who created the product, and we say if the product user is. Now the product user, yeah, we can. I think we can grab is auth. If the product is, yeah, let me see. Let us see. Is auth user. What is this? Anyway, we need this on an if statement. So let's put it here. Let's forget this for now. Right? If the product user is, let me comment this because I want to come and explain it later. So I'll paste this one here, cut this. I will want to explain this later. So if the product user is authenticated user, return that, otherwise abort. Okay, yeah. So let's see if this one works. Now we are going to edit Xiaomi. Let's say edit MacBook, and we hit edit. We can edit because the product belongs to us, right? Now let's see if I can modify this to instead of 4, let me say 1, and the 1 does not belong to me. It belongs to William, right? Does not belong to Lois. As you can see, it hits the forbidden check. So it works, right? If we go to our previous product number 4, we can modify this MacBook M4 2025 maybe, and we hit update, and we are able to update. And then we view, we see the update, the changes has taken effect. Okay, so if you look at this this code, it's more readable, right? And it does not require us to remember what is the primary key on the users table and the foreign key on the products table. It does not require us to remember, right? We are just using the relationships, right? Yeah, we're just using the relationships, and it is very readable if you look at it. If the product user is the authenticated user, it's very readable in my opinion. Now, some people don't like to have code like this. They like to fail early. You see, some people like to fail early. So one would do something like this: if, right? If not, okay, then abort, and something like this. Okay, some people do code like this, as in it is recommended to fail early. Okay, so if the product user, if not now, if we are not, if the authenticated user is not the owner of the product, right, abort. Otherwise, continue. Okay, so this is, if you prefer this kind of this style of programming, yeah, you can do that as well. So let's see if it works. Let's see if it works, which it will, I think. If we reload, edit our MacBook M4, it is now M5, update. Yeah, so if I view product, M5. Now let's modify the update to not go back to /. Let's return it back to products. That way we can see the product that has changed. It makes sense that way. Okay, so what are we going to do now? Now let's look at destroy. We can actually protect now the destroy to only allow a user to delete a product which belongs to them, right? We can allow that as well. Yeah, so we can reuse what we have here. We can reuse what we have here. We can say if the product abort, otherwise continue, and then we are good. Even in update, yeah, before doing anything, we just check if the product is authenticated user. Otherwise, we say no, you're forbidden. Okay, so we are good now. Our logic makes sense. Although, once we learn about gets and policies, we learn a better way to handle this authorization. So stay tuned. Yeah. Okay, so let me see if I have anything that I have not covered. Now we have the view product, we have the Xiaomi, we have the edit, and then we can view products, we can update, and we have actually, let me see, we have protected our routes. Actually, we have protected the methods, which is okay as well. So store, that's good. Index, that's good. Okay. Yeah, so that is it for Eloquent Relationship. So for Eloquent Relationships, actually, they are very broad. This is an introduction. They are very broad. Now, if you have any question, please, I would like to hear the question before I proceed with anything else. If you have any question, now is the time. If you don't have a question, please like the live. Don't forget to like the live. Yeah. If you have not followed my account, please follow. If you have landed here by accident, I always go live. So if you follow me, you will be notified by TikTok or by YouTube when I go live. Okay. Yeah. So if you have any question, anyone with a question regarding Eloquent Relationships, I am here. We have only covered two types of relations: belongs to relationship and has many relationship, which are here. So for the user, a user has many products, so that is a has many relationship. And for product, a product belongs to a user. You see, we have only covered two. So there are many kinds of relationships, yeah, but we have only covered two. Okay. Owiyo, welcome Owiyo. Keith, Forest, thank you for following. That means a lot. Yeah, that means a lot. We have John Wick, we have Purity, Charles, fantastic. Tabs Obohlale, thank you for following the live. If you have any question regarding Laravel, not even specifically Eloquent Relationships, you're welcome to ask your question. Frank on YouTube. Okay. So we have just covered eloquent relationships. On our next live, let me announce this. On our next live, we will be covering authorization using gates, but also authorization using policies if the time allows. And this will be next Wednesday, as well as next Thursday. So I always go live on Wednesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. East African time. Yeah, so make sure you keep that on your calendar if you want to learn how to code and if you want to learn Laravel. Yeah. If it happens you want private lessons, right? If you want private lessons, you can ping me on my WhatsApp +255 766 23685. I do accept private lessons, although the time slots are very limited, but ping me on my WhatsApp number and we will be able to communicate, and I will see if I can find a good slot for you, and we can learn on private sessions. That also I can do, although the time slots are always limited. But if you apply by pinging me on my WhatsApp number, I'll be able to see how I can help you. Okay, so I see no question on the chat, and I think that marks the end of our live today. I see no questions on the chat. That marks the end of our live today. I'll be here for about 5 minutes, and after that I will end the live. So if you have any question regarding Laravel, please shoot the questions right now. I'm here, I will be able to respond. If you missed the previous lives, they are on my YouTube account. So go to my YouTube account. Yeah, so for some reasons I can't share my link here, but if you ping me on my inbox, if you come inbox, I'll be able to send it over to you. Yeah, you can actually let me just put it here. YouTube, it's https youtube.com/@George Raphael. Yeah. So if you want to view the previous lives, the previous lessons, you can find them on this YouTube channel here. Just go to the YouTube channel, click on the live, and then you will see the 2 past lives. Yeah. Ivan, welcome. Roger Shaban, the lucky boy, welcome to the live, guys. Yeah, so if you have just joined the live, we have finished, but you have not missed anything because the live was recorded and it is on YouTube. Yeah, so you can just go there and rewatch if you want to learn about Laravel. Hi, Lynn. All is well. All is cool. How are you? How are you? So for today, we were learning about Laravel. We are specifically building um, eloquent relationships on a model. That way, we can simplify our code uh, when we are accessing the related uh, models from one module. So for example, when a user creates a product, it means a product belongs to the user, right? So we were defining that relationship. And what we did actually is here. For a product, we defined this relationship. It says this, meaning the product, belongs to the user class. So it's all about eloquent relationships. Now this is the belongs to relationship, and in many cases, belongs to relationship will have its counterpart, its inverse. Now on the user, we have the products, plural, the products, which says this user has many products, okay, of type product class. Yeah. So that is what we have been busy with. We have also worked on our web application which you were using. Huh? Yeah. So this is the language. This is PHP. This is PHP. As you can see here, user.php. But we are not writing plain PHP. We are using Laravel. We are using Laravel. Yeah, exactly. This is it. As you can see here, we have users, we have products. Yeah, so we are improving our e-commerce. This one. Yeah, we're improving our e-commerce. So one of the improvements we did, if I edit this product here, it's ID number 3. If I try to make some changes on the link here and put 1, and if I try to edit a product which does not belong to me, I will get this 4 or 3 forbidden response. Instead of me modifying the what? Being able to modify the product, no, I want to be able to do that. So we did put that protection. But if I view a product that belongs to me, for example, number 4, a MacBook M5, we can see it. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we have been doing. Lean. Yeah, you have any questions? I highly encourage you to actually find a time and practice if you really want to get something, if you really want to get good at this. You want to find some time to practice, as in you rewatch the videos, and then you do exactly what I do, and then you ask yourself why you are doing it, and if it makes sense, then you're good. Do you teach coding? Yes, Lynn, that's what I do. I teach coding. I build products, but I've been building products for a very long time now. So I teach. I'm a teacher. I teach coding. Yeah, I teach coding. And if you want private classes, because here right now I am teaching on one-to-many basis. I'm me, and there is many of you guys. But if you want a more tailored a private setting, you can shoot me a message on my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is right here. You can shoot me a message on WhatsApp, and the slots are usually limited, but if you text me early, once I finish a private session with another student, I'll be able to put a schedule for you as well. I struggle with that part. I have the basics of coding, Java, JavaScript, and React. Okay. What is the part that you are struggling with? What is the part that you're struggling with? What part are you struggling with? In JavaScript, or in Java, or in React? If you are in a good setting, you can request, or you can request to be a guest, and I will actually put you in. That way you can talk. Yeah, sometimes typing is tiresome. You can request to become a guest, and then let me see if I can invite you. I don't see a place where I can invite. How do I invite someone? Okay, so if you want, you can do that. Anyways, focusing on one language. Oh, okay, it's okay. Focusing on one language and mastering it. Yeah. Actually, that is the key. That is the key to success in anything. What does the word focus mean? The word focus means singularity. It means singular. If you look at those people who shoots on a target, right? The word focus means zooming in, concentrating on a single point, individual point. Yeah. So you are very right. If you lack focus, especially while you are learning, your journey to mastery will be a dream that you won't be able to turn into reality. Yeah, because you really want to focus. If you learn a little bit of Java, a little bit of JavaScript, a little bit of PHP, a little bit of Python, a little bit of whatever, it becomes very difficult for you to become a master because you have a lot of unfinished bridges, right? You are building unfinished bridges because we can't even call them bridges because you can't you can't pass across them because they are unfinished, right? So you want to zero in on one thing and make sure you really understand it before you move on to the next. There is this fear I see in my students when they see there is a lot to learn, like there is HTML, there is CSS, there is JavaScript, then there is MySQL for databases, then there is, for CSS, there are supersets like Tailwind. Then on Tailwind, you have something like Daisy UI. Then maybe you have, on JavaScript, you want to write JavaScript, maybe you want to write React, right? Then inside React, there are a bunch of libraries in there. Then after, maybe you learn PHP and then you find there is Laravel, and then you have to master Laravel. Inside Laravel, there are a lot of libraries that you have to master. You have Eloquent, you have to understand it. You have the authentication package, Laravel, maybe Jetstream or Sanctum or Fortify. All of those, you have to understand them. Then you have Blade. You have to understand how Laravel Blade works, the Blade directives, the component system. Once a student sees there is a lot to learn, they want to rush things. And that is where they miss the point. No, you don't have to rush anything. Just stick with HTML until you're cool, until you're good, then move on to CSS. until you're cool. Because if you really understand what you're doing in HTML, it becomes very easy to style HTML with CSS, right? And if you understand the CSS properties well, right, when you're learning JavaScript, it becomes very easy to, I can say, to control the CSS properties, because in most cases in the JavaScript will come to control the CSS properties, right? Now, if you master those, then understanding their supersets, for example, learning Vue.js or React, while you understand JavaScript, the objects, the functions in JavaScript, how they behave, whatever, everything, it becomes very easy. Now, it will look like you're moving slowly, but you're moving extremely fast, because everything builds up on top of each other, right? Yeah, so if you rush, you will reach at a point where you don't know what you're doing because you rushed, right? Yeah. And once you just prompt the AI, right? Write me a login page. It becomes very easy for you to specify something called a border radius, right? A display property. Maybe the responsive designing, right? Those terminologies, you lack the terminologies to communicate with the AI. But if you learn everything without rushing, it becomes very easy. Yeah. Learning codes, that's very true. Yeah, so yeah, learning, it becomes very difficult nowadays, because you find someone who doesn't have any knowledge with coding, they build an application and they are shitting on everybody. They curse everybody, as in you spent 3 years learning how to code, but I can build this website and I don't know how to code. Building a website and making money from that website are two very different things. Building a website and making the website, making it possible to add features to the website without breaking the others, without compromising the overall functionality of the website, right? It's not an easy issue. It's not an easy issue. I'm pretty sure AIs will improve, and in the future, they will be more and more intelligent. But one thing remains true. Human beings have always used tools, right? The tools never have used human beings, right? So that remains true. So if you are a human being and you want to use a tool, you have to master how to use it, right? Yeah, so understanding how to code remains a very important thing to do if you want to build a career in computer programming. Yeah, that's that learning code. That's very true. Which is, so for example, if someone if someone asks me today, George, how long did it take you to learn Kotlin? You see, how long did it take you to learn Kotlin? That simple question, if I answer that person, it took me 6 months. How does that answer help that person? You know, it does not. Because when I was learning Kotlin, I already have knowledge on C++, object-oriented programming. I have done PHP for like 5 years before that. I have gone through design patterns. I know what a singleton is. I know what a repository pattern is. I know what a builder pattern is, you see. So I know a lot. I know a lot of programming concepts before. So coming into Kotlin, it can take me 6 months to master the language. But that is because it is me. Because I already have a programming mindset. I already have history with computer programming, you see. But if you are starting right now, you have zero knowledge on computer programming. I don't expect for it to take 6 months to master the program, the language. No, it will definitely take longer than that, because there are other skills that you have to acquire along the road in order to master the language. So I think many beginners, they don't know what questions to ask. That's why it becomes very difficult for them, right? It becomes very difficult for them to stick on patience, because they want the quick wins, eh? Yeah, that's very true, Lenny Codes. They get distracted. It's very true. Yep. So I was listening to Aline. That's very true. I was listening to Leila Homozi on her podcast. She pointed out something very, very important. She said that the most fundamental wins, the most fundamental success, are the ones that come slowly. If you look at the earth, the earth revolves around the sun for 365 days. 365 days, you see. It takes time. You see, maybe life takes time. A human being, for a human being to be born, 9 months has to go, right? 9 months has to go to create life, right? It's anyone wants to build a business, which is very similar to a life of a human being, because a business is an entity, and they want to build that in 12 weeks. It's very funny, right? Yeah, the most fundamental wins, the most fundamental success are the ones which comes slowly. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Okay, guys. I think we have had a wonderful time together. I'm gonna end the live, and I will catch you guys next week on Wednesday, where we will continue our authorization using gates and using policies. Yeah. No, not to worry, Lynn. This is the time. This is the time. The time has been blocked to speak, to talk about tech. So you don't have to be sorry, because the time has already been blocked for this exact, for what we are actually doing right now. Okay, so I'm going to end the live. Have a nice one. Have a fantastic rest of the week to each and every one of you. Bye. See ya.